Hey guys, from here in Israel. First, I'm going to say that if a siren goes off, I'm just going to have to end this live and run to my bomb shelter, but hopefully a siren won't go off. We've had a lot of missiles in Israel today, both from Hezbollah in the north in Lebanon and also from Iran. We've had cluster missile bombs and we've had drones at Tel Aviv, at Jerusalem, at northern Israel. So hopefully a siren won't go off, but I wanted just to update you while I can during this quiet of what's going on in Israel. We're in day 6 of the war. The war began on Saturday, and I don't even know what day it is today. I think it's Thursday. Everything has been one big mushed together reality of bomb shelters and providing aid and taking care of my kids and my husband and bringing my daughter back to the army, which was so hard. My 19-year-old daughter is now on the border with Gaza on the front lines, protecting this land. She's my hero. And going in and out of the bomb shelter with my kids, and of course doing all the life-saving projects for the fellowship, which I'll talk about soon. So what's it been like in Israel? Right now, all the schools are closed. There hasn't been any school all week, so kids have been home. They're trying to do like online Zoom learning, kind of like during Corona, but it doesn't really work very good, especially when there are sirens going off and they have to turn off school online in order to go to the bomb shelter. Most stores are closed. Grocery stores are open, thank God. So we're able to get food, but there are a few restaurants open, but only for takeout, no sitting in. Grocery stores are open, but schools are closed. Most businesses are closed unless it's for an essential worker. And the airport has been closed. Today, for the first time, there was a flight that arrived in Ben Gurion, Israel. It was a rescue flight because only in Israel are rescue flights when it's bringing people into the war zone. Because in Israel, if you're not in Israel when war breaks out, you just want to get back because everyone is either reserve soldiers, they want to be with their family, they want to be with their loved ones, they want to be with their country. Just being here is meaningful in defending this country. So probably Israel's the only country where rescue flights mean taking people from outside the war zone and bringing them in the war zone, which says a lot about this spiritual homeland and what that means. But anyways, Ben Gurion Airport has been completely closed. Today it opened, and as the first flight that was back in Israel was about to land, there was a rocket barrage, and it had to go back up in the sky, circle around for around 25 minutes, and then it landed very quickly. Thank God they're okay. Life in Israel is staying very close to bomb shelters, listening very carefully for sirens, sleeping dressed because you have to run to the bomb shelter. There's always other people in the bomb shelter. Taking a shower really quickly because very often there's a siren when you're in the shower. So life has been affected in many, many, many ways. And what's the feeling in Israel? The feeling in Israel is that we are paying a very heavy price. It's very, very difficult right now. It's very scary. There are over 1,000 people who have been injured, many people killed just in the past 5 days. From rockets, from ballistic missiles. Thousands of people have lost their homes overnight. But the feeling is definitely that we know that this is what's right and it's what has to happen. If they have these types of ballistic missiles now that are targeting Israel and the Arab world and Europe and American bases, imagine if they would have been able to get even more ballistic missiles. Imagine if they would have been able to get nuclear weapons, that when you have a crazy Islamist government that on the parliament floor is burning American flags and Israeli flags when they're saying death to Israel, death to America, we have to take them seriously. And everyone knew it wasn't going to get easier. It was just going to get harder. They were just going to get more weapons. They were just going to form more alliances with other terror countries, that it wasn't going to get easier. It was going to get harder. So everyone here in Israel realizes that we're paying a hard and steep price now, but it's in order to make the future for our children and grandchildren safer and better. We're the light that's shining through the darkness. And it's kind of like ironic how October 7th started the war. And they thought that they were going to wipe Israel into the sea, right? From the river to the sea, or globalized intifada. They thought that Israel was going to be wiped out and the whole world would be overcome with the Islamists. And it's so ironic how God works. It's kind of like the story of Bilam and Balak when they went out to curse the Jewish people and they ended up blessing them. They went out to destroy Israel on October 7th. And what's happened since then is that Iran and almost all of their proxies, who are terror supporters and terror exporters and are the cause of terror attacks against Americans, Europeans, Israelis for so many years, they ended up being destroyed. They came out to destroy Israel, and Israel is stronger than ever. Of course, this is the first real war that Israel and America have done together. And what we're seeing is God work through it to destroy the evil, to hopefully free the Iranian people, and to make sure that no matter what happens in Iran, that the world still will be safer. Because even if hopefully the government will come in and the people will be freed, and they already said there are some governments who hope to come into Iran who have said that they want to join the Abraham Accords. Can you imagine Israelis going and visiting Tehran? Can you imagine Americans going free and visiting Iran? Can you imagine all these people having the freedom to choose if they want to be Christian, if they want to be Muslim, to have freedom of religion? It sounds like a messianic vision, but I believe that when God said, my house is a house of prayer for all the nations, that there'll be a day when the lion will dwell with the lamb, where we'll put our sword in the ground and we won't know war anymore. I believe that that day is coming. I believe that we might be closer than we ever thought. And as we know, the verse says, Hashem oz le'amo yitein, Hashem yivarech et amo b'shalom. The Lord blesses his nation with strength. The Lord blesses his nation with peace. That this is, I pray, one step closer to peace for all of us who sanctify life. So the days have been intense. And the fellowship has been, we're the humanitarian first responders. And so from the first day of the war, we have our heroic staff who are leaving the bomb shelters with their own children, with their own families, and going out to provide food to the elderly who don't have food. It's a big problem. Like Holocaust survivors, for example, we learned about elderly Holocaust survivors who usually have workers who come to help them. They cook them food, they go out and buy groceries for them, they help them shower, they do all these basic things for them. And now during the war, the workers haven't been coming because many of the poor elderly and Holocaust survivors don't have a bomb shelter, or the workers feel like it's dangerous to be traveling because there are missiles falling. And so they haven't been showing up to work to help the elderly. So we found out at the fellowship that these elderly don't have food. And so we started a program to deliver food to elderly whose caretakers aren't able to go. We found out that there are mothers who have babies who aren't able to buy formula, that they have just been in the bomb shelter for days on end. And so we're going to bomb shelters delivering formula. We found an 89-year-old elderly man who doesn't have a bomb shelter in his house in Tel Aviv. And so he moved into the bomb shelter, a public shelter that he moved into. He was there for 5 days sleeping on the floor. And so the fellowship came in and provided with a bed for this 89-year-old man in the shelter so that he can also be safe and also be comfortable. And so everything we're doing right now, we placed bomb shelters. And many people are saying, how do you place bomb shelters so quickly? The war just started 6 days ago. Well, the fellowship has a very good relationship with many of these companies who produce the bomb shelters, who produce the bulletproof vests and helmets. And so once we hear that, that was a... Do you hear that? That was a missile over my house right now, but it's not landing here, so there's no siren. I pray that it will not harm anyone and God will miraculously direct it to open space. And so yeah, regarding placing the bomb shelters, we have relationships with all these companies. So when a rocket lands, and causes damage or destroys a home. The fellowship is there, sometimes even before the first responders. We're there with the bulletproof vests and helmets because the first responders have to go through the rubble looking to save lives and find the people while missiles are still falling. And so the fellowship's giving them protective gear so that they can be protected. We're giving them emergency bags. Israel, we weren't ready for the amount of missiles that are falling in all the different cities. So the fellowship has distributed over 1,300 emergency first responders bags to these people to save lives. And regarding the bomb shelters, there are a few different kinds of bomb shelters. One is underground, and that's where the fellowship has helped different hospitals build underground units so that when the war happens, they move the whole hospital underground. They have a surgical unit, they have a dialysis unit, they have everything they need underground. So a labor and delivery unit, a NICU unit. So when rockets are falling, they could continue to operate. They're not at risk there. So that's the most safe. That's underground. The second kind is connected to a house or a building. Thank God I'm so blessed. I have a bomb shelter room in my house. So when there's a siren, I'm able to go into the room of the bomb shelter. It's connected to the house. It's made with a lot of concrete and enforced doors and enforced windows, is against shrapnel. And so that's the second kind of bomb shelter. The third is called a mobile bomb shelter. And what these mobile bomb shelters are, they're actually made in a factory with tons of concrete and according to all the standards of the Home Front Command that they're able to, of course, protect from shrapnel and rockets. And so they're made in a factory and then they're put on a huge truck, on the back of a truck, and the truck drives to wherever is the most at-risk location. So like schools are in the line of fire, or synagogues are in the line of fire, or bus stops are in the line of fire. And then they bring the mobile bomb shelters, this huge concrete room basically, on the back of a truck. A huge crane comes and places it down, and then that community has a bomb shelter to use. So this week alone, we've placed bomb shelters across Israel, and every single one of them was used within an hour of us placing them. They otherwise wouldn't have had it when the missiles were launched and landing. So we are on the ground. Our staff is incredible. Many of our staff were called up even for reserve duty, that they had to go out on the front line, but they're joining our staff calls from the front lines, from reserve duty, in their madim, in their army uniform. They're joining our staff calls and continuing to save lives with the fellowship. We have almost every one of our workers has a loved one, an immediate family member who's in the army, just like my daughter. We have this incredible woman who I've been working with from our Israel office. Her husband's in the Air Force. He's one of those heroic Air Force pilots who's been leading all of this. And she has been home, that means alone, taking care of her 2 little babies. And she doesn't have a bomb shelter in her house, so she had to move to her sister-in-law's house with her 2 little babies. And yet she's working for the fellowship day and night, because we don't just have workers, we have people who are passionate about saving lives, about representing the voice of the silenced majority, Christians who are praying for Israel, who are loving Israel, who are standing with Israel. So we are representing you. We're saving lives, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, sheltering the poor. You are the watchmen on the walls through your prayers and your actions. And I just wanted to give you an update and to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You are giving us strength. We are exhausted. We are scared, but we know the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. And we know that your prayers are surrounding us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you found this informative, share it, because we need to get real information out. I already see there are so many people here who are writing mean comments and horrible comments and dangerous comments and violent comments. We need to spread love and light and get the real message out. So share, 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 and God bless you from here in Israel. Continue to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Shalom.